For our simulation, we want to simulate something simple, yet complex enough to show the effectiveness of a statistical simulation.
In order to keep the simulation relatable, we decided to choose a random student's grade report and run an extensive set of tests based on their test average.
In creating a simulation, there are basic steps that you need to follow. 1. Describe all possible outcomes.
2. Link each outcome to one or more random numbers.
3. Choose a source of random numbers.
4. Choose a random number.
5. Based on the random number, note the simulated outcome.
6. Repeat steps 4 and 5 multiple times, preferably until the outcomes show a stable pattern.
7. Analyze the simulated outcomes and report results.
Doing these steps in the traditional manner takes a very long time. You have to manually input numbers and then separate them into different outcomes.
So instead we decide to automate the process to save time.
The program we created asks how many outcomes the user would like and what percent chance each outcome should have. These two steps in conjunction with one another describes the possible outcomes completing step 1.
Next, the computer automatically links each outcome to numbers using its own random number generator and assigns numerical values to each outcome based off the user input. These actions complete steps 2 through 4.
Finally, the program counts how many numbers there are that correspond with each possible outcome and repeats the process as many times as the user wants. The results are then reported back to the user as numerical values, and this completes steps 5 through 7 in the simulation process.
Now that you're familiar with the program, let's see who we randomly selected. Well then, you weren't supposed to see that. Anyways, it looks like this student got an average of 20% on their tests and quizzes. We can apply that to the statistical simulation to see possible outcomes on a much larger scale than otherwise possible. In our simulation, we will emulate a 100-question test. There will be 2 possible outcomes. Either the question will be answered correctly or incorrectly. Next, we will want to enter a percentage of 20 for outcome 1, since the student gets an average of 20% on quizzes and tests. Then, for outcome 2, we will enter 80, since the student gets an average of 80% of their questions incorrect. Finally, we will tell the program to run 100 trials, 1 trial for each question that will be on the test. Here, the results tell us that outcome 1 occurred 19 times. That means that the percentage of the total for outcome 1 was 19%. Outcome 2 occurred 81 times. The percentage of the total for outcome 2 is 81%. This means that the student got 19% correct on their test and 81% incorrect.